Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we got this brand new info drop on the Chronicler Adelyn. You see right here, she's going to be the upcoming 7-day login champion. So she's basically free for everyone that logs in after 7 days. And cool thing about it is that there's going to be her soul that's going to be offered up as well, which is going to be a follow-up 7-day login as well. So everybody gets this champion plus soul to power her up. In this video, we're going to go over her kit that just got revealed. I'm going to go over my first impressions and what I think about this champion. So yeah, let's jump right into it. All right, so first let's talk about what Plarium thinks about this champion, and we'll see if her kit actually makes sense for what they're saying. So she's a Bannerlord, she's legendary, she's support, and she's force. Affinity. So Chronicler Adelyn is a great specialist champion for early and mid-game players. So they made this champion specifically for early and mid-game players. And her primary area of expertise is Sand Devil. You know, that's great, right? Because Sand Devil is actually not a very early game friendly dungeon. So it's great that they're giving a free champion to tackle that dungeon. She can fill the role of sleep setup plus debuff for quick battles against Sand Devil. Or you can bring her as a healer and additional debuffer for longer fights. While her kit was specifically created for battling Sand Devil, early and mid-game players can be creative and bring her to the team as a healer and debuffer versus bosses. They'll utilize her as a debuffer on the arena, since her A3 can ignore block debuffs. Okay, a little bit interesting. So without seeing her kit right now, her description sounds okay-ish, I guess. But so she's a healer, she brings some debuffs, she can be played in multiple areas. While Adelyn will be a lifesaver for everyone who struggles in Sand Devils, especially for beginner and early stagers, veterans and raiders who don't have the champion with multiple debuffs in a single skill, Riho or Ramantu in their collection shouldn't be write her off. She'll be a great addition to your team for an extra debuffer. Moreover, after the boss's rebalance planned in a few patches ahead, players will be able to discover more tactics and strategies leading to stage 25, and also find it possible to tackle Sand Devil with a wider range of champions, making Adelyn even more viable for the long run. We will share the rebalance details closer to its release date. So that's kind of interesting, right? So they're saying that there's some future value to this champion. I mean, we don't know, and maybe they don't know, but they're saying there is some future value, so we'll take it for face value here. Anyways, they're describing the kit, so I'm going to jump into the kit and show you guys what she is packing. All right, so here's the full kit for Adelyn here, legendary support champion for the Bannerlords faction. This was kind of obvious, like her aesthetics is very support-like, and we know by her background that she was going to be part of the Bannerlords. First of all, I think her aesthetics look pretty good. Her main portrait looks solid. You know, she's holding a book. She got this cool feather. You know, very scholarly librarian, kind of like Kaja. She kind of looks like Kaja without the mask almost. Maybe they're using the same model. I don't like that she's another Bannerlord, to be honest. They could definitely spread some love for the other factions. There's too many Bannerlords going on right now. Support Bannerlord, sure, there's some, but they could use another. It's not too bad. They got a lot of damage dealers too. Let's go over her kit real quick here. Equivalent exchange. Her A1 attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of transferring one debuff from this champion to the target. Also has a 50% chance of stealing one buff from the target. So after books, it's going to be 75% chance for each. Lysandra has something similar where she transfers all debuffs instead of transferring one debuff and then stealing one debuff. You know, there's some interesting ways to use Lysandra's A1. For example, if she gets heavily poisoned by the dragon, she can transfer that with a single A1. Adelyn can't do that. So it's kind of interesting to see where this A1 can be super useful. What buff is she trying to steal, and from who? Is there a boss that has a buff that you want to steal from them? That's what I'm trying to think right now. But it also sucks because it's only a 75% chance. It's not even a 100% chance. You can't even utilize the A1 specifically for a very specific boss encounter to steal a buff, for example. So anyways, it's kind of average. I don't think it's terrible, but you know, it is an average A1. For A2, healing script, 4-turn cooldown down to 3 turns with 3 books. Restore 25% of each ally's destroyed max HP, then heal all allies by 25% of this champion's max HP. So first, the 25% boost heal is good. It's a decent amount. I believe Marichka is 30%, I believe, or the shield is 30%. Anyways, I think the value 25 is fair. It's probably above average. And I like that it's based off of her max HP, which is something that you can control, which is good. I also like that the max HP, the destroyed max HP is restored first, and then the heal happens, which is good. So that's a good sequence of events. However, I think for a 3-turn move, I think this move is very weak. I think it's like epic level weak. And the fact that she's a legendary, I don't really like that. So yeah, I think it needs to have something else, either like ally full increased speed or full ally cleanse. Full ally cleanse with the heal would be solid, and then I can see her actually being helpful. But with just this heal, I don't think it's enough. There's not enough dungeons that do max HP damage, like Fire Knight, Sand Devil, Fire Knight, Sand Devil, and Hydra. That's all I can think of off the top of my head that have max HP destroy. So that's where this move might be more useful. But yeah, anyways, it's a pretty lackluster A2. A3, Writ of Sleep. 5 turns, no books. Down to 3 turn with 4 books. Also not 100%, so it requires books. Has 75% chance of placing sleep on 1 target. That's not good. 1 target. Also has 75% chance of placing decreased speed, decreased attack on 1 target. And then debuffs placed by the skill will ignore block debuffs. So most bosses don't have block debuffs, so this is not really a boss condition. The condition is mostly for arena, I guess. And I guess most champions, I think, don't start with block debuffs unless they're running immunity, for example. But it doesn't go through Stone Skin. And it's not 100% chance without books. Single target sleep. If this was an AoE sleep, that would be pretty good. If it was an AoE sleep, it would be pretty good. But it's a single target sleep, so Plarium's thinking that you can sleep the Sand Devil and then debuff them with decreased speed, decreased attack, thereby increasing the damage that they take, that the Sand Devil takes. They could have made her something different, right? Like they could have added like decreased defense. That's a big one too, because the way Riho works really well is that she places the many debuffs and then she places decreased defense and weaken and all those debuffs, HP burn. But Adelyn here just brings sleep. So effectively she just brings sleep, which is any sleep champion can do. Her sleep is not irresistible, so her sleep is not better than anybody else's. It still requires accuracy, so it's not better than anybody else's. And yeah, if they're thinking that they're gonna use this move in arena, like, are they expecting her to go first, place a sleep on 1 champion? Like, we have champions right now that can keep a champion for 3 with the 3 on a 3-turn cooldown. Like Wukong's A2 can sheep a champion on a 3-turn cooldown. So a sleep is just not cutting it. Yeah, this is not an impressive move. For passive, perceived weakness, allies deal 3% more damage to targets for each debuff placed on them by this champion. So this passive could have worked a lot better if it was all like any debuffs on any enemy, not by this champion. So for her, she can only place 3 debuffs unless you give her a toxic set, curse set. Then she can place like more debuffs. So I mean, if you're trying to capitalize on that, I mean, for boss damage, I guess she can, place decreased speed, decreased attack on 1 boss, maybe 1 Hydra head, for example. Decreased speed doesn't apply to many bosses. So it's just going to be decreased attack. Sleep doesn't apply to basically all the bosses except for Sand Devil. So that's why I'm saying like her A3 needed different debuffs, and or an AoE effect would be nice. But her perceived weakness passive really doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't. The last thing you need, I think the last thing you need is this minimal damage boost. Like she needed something else. I can't. Yeah, I just don't. I'm not feeling this passive with her kit. Yes, they kind of synergizes, and she can boost your damage by 9% or something, but it's kind of minimal. And yeah, that's kind of best case scenario. But her aura is probably the only thing that they really got right, and it's increased ally accuracy in all battles by 60. So against the Sand Devil, he has really high resistance, so you need really high accuracy. So for stage 25, I believe it's 550-ish accuracy you need to land your debuff, somewhere around there. So a 60 accuracy in all battles is very useful. So they got that right. But honestly, the rest of this kit, this whole champion actually makes me kind of not happy, kind of upset-ish, because first of all, it's a login champion. It's free. Everyone gets it. And they're marketing it, positioning it as a champion to help early and mid-game champions. Let me tell you guys this. What early game champion or what early game or mid-game player has 11 books to spare for this champion? What mid-game or early game player has 11 books to spare for this champion that basically a specialist champion that basically can't do anything outside of maybe doing something in Sand Devil? I mean, obviously the verdict's still out on this champion until we do some more testing, until the community gets a hold of her and starts doing some cool stuff. Maybe the soul makes a big difference. Maybe if you give her maybe if it's a 5-star soul after a 7-day login, maybe she can apply brimstone and then she can do extra damage against the Sand Devil. But honestly, there's no early or mid-game player that will spend 11 books for this champion. And it doesn't make sense for Plarium to give us this champion hoping to help that demographic or that level of progression player. Because also, why are you encouraging early and mid-game players to do Sand Devil? Sand Devil is one of those because when you think about it, how much good gear does an early or mid-game player actually have that's worth oiling up or dust or powdering up? Like an early or mid-game player has literally like no good gear that's worth investing in, especially investing in oil. So there's no reason for an early or mid-game player to really dive super hard into Sand Devil. And most low-level Sand Devil content can be done without this champion, without the mechanics, without the sleep mechanics, without any of that. Low-level Sand Devil can be done with just New King champions, like just damage base. Just go in there, blow them up. But this, like the idea doesn't make sense to me. The champion doesn't make sense to me. Like just on first look, the champion looks downright like terrible. If it's positioned for early or mid-game players, no early or mid-game players will spend 11 books on this champion to be a niche specific champion for one stage with very limited use elsewhere. And like I said, early and mid-game players shouldn't be focusing on Sand Devil anyways. And the early stages of Sand Devil can be done without using the mechanics to sleep it and all that stuff. And end-game Sand Devil will not use this champion unless they are super desperate for a sleep champion, which doesn't make sense because there's champions like Conella. Conella is an epic dwarf. And she literally has the same move, a 3-turn sleep, 100% chance after books, but she can get resisted, of course. And she does the same thing. She's an epic. I don't see it, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I think this is a total bust. But, she's a free champion. We'll take it, put it in the vault, hope for Faction Guardians boost. I mean, you can pull her from a shard when this event is live, I think. And then you can get a Faction Guardians boost. We'll be doing some test server stuff on her, so verdict's still out. So, but first impressions, not very good. The whole idea doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and learned something new. Yeah, look forward to your new Adelyn in the next week or so. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.